Would you like to learn more about faith? You've come to the right person. No, not me, Abraham. I'm Malcolm Cox, and this is a daily devotional podcast called Adventures in Faith with Abraham. Abraham, who went, according to Hebrews 11:8, even though he did not know where he was going. Join me as we step out on a faith adventure with Abraham. Today we're starting with chapter 16 and the first 4 verses. Now Sarai, Abram's wife, had borne him no children, and she had an Egyptian maid whose name was Hagar. So Sarai said to Abram, "Now behold, the Lord has prevented me from bearing children. Please go in to my maid. Perhaps I will obtain children through her." And Abram listened to the voice of Sarai. After Abram had lived 10 years in the land of Canaan, Abram's wife Sarai took Hagar the Egyptian, her maid, and gave her to her husband Abram as his wife. He went in to Hagar, and she conceived. And when she saw that she had conceived, her mistress was despised in her sight. What are we seeing here? The consequences of impatience is what I would say. How does this play out? Well, first of all, let's set the scene. Abram is more in the background in chapter 16. The women take center stage. The implication is that Abram is willing to wait whilst Sarai is not. However, Abram agrees with his wife's plan, a plan which reminds us of Adam and Eve in Genesis chapter 3. The same Hebrew word for listened, shamar, is used in Genesis 3:17 and here. Things did not turn out well then, and they do not turn out well here now. Surrogate motherhood for rich women was not unusual in the culture of the day. However, the outcome makes it clear that God's people should not take their cues from the norms of society. Now, we'll tackle the theme of impatience in another podcast, but for today, let's talk about cultural assimilation. See, however distasteful we might think of it today, Sarai's solution would have made perfect sense to her friends and her extended family. Surrogate motherhood and polygamy were, if not the norm, certainly not unusual in that culture at that time. Paul wrote about the temptation to fit in. In Romans 12:1 and 2, "I urge you, brethren, by the mercies of God, to present your bodies a living, holy sacrifice, acceptable to God, your spiritual service of worship. Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, so that you may prove what the will of God is, that which is good, acceptable, and perfect." Is there any place in your life where you're tempted to compromise? Is there any current challenge where you are tempted to cut corners to get what you feel you deserve or you need? Sarah uses Hagar to get what she wants. Hagar gets more than a pregnancy. She also gets an attitude. This will not end well. A prayer point for today might be to ask God to give you sufficient insight to notice when you're being conformed to the world, and sufficient courage to resist its gravitational pull. If you have any questions or feedback, please drop me a line, malcolm@malcolmcox.org. Romans 4:16. He is the Father of us all. Let's allow Abraham to be the father of faith to you and me. Many thanks for listening today. See you tomorrow as we continue our adventure of faith with Abraham. Take care, and God bless.